A fruitful land and fair, but now submerged beneath a wilderness of rising waves, twixt Oita and Aeonia, Phocis lies, where through the clouds Parnassus summits twain point upward to the stars, unmeasured height, save which the rolling billows covered all. There, in a small and fragile boat, arrived Deucalion and the consort of his couch, prepared to worship the Charician nymphs, the mountain deities, and Themis kind, who in that age revealed in oracles the voice of fate. As he no other lived so good and just, as she no other feared the gods. When Jupiter beheld the globe in ruin, covered, swept with wasting waves, and when he saw one man of myriads left, one helpless woman left of myriads lone, both innocent and worshipping the gods, he scattered all the clouds. He blew away the great storms by the cold north wind. Once more the earth appeared to heaven, and the skies appeared to earth. The fury of the main abated, for the ocean ruler laid his trident down and pacified the waves, and called on azure Triton. Triton arose above the waving seas, his shoulders mailed in purple shells. He bade the Triton blow in his sounding shell, the wandering streams and rivers, to recall with signal known. A hollow wreathed trumpet, tapering wide and slender stemmed, the Triton took amain, and wound the pearly shell at midmost sea. Betwixt the rising and the setting suns, the wildered notes resounded shore to shore, and as it touched his lips, wet with the brine beneath his dripping beard, sounded retreat, and all the waters of the land and sea obeyed. Their fountains heard and ceased to flow, their waves subsided, hidden hills uprose, emerged the shores of ocean, channels filled with flowing streams. The soil appeared, the land increased its surface as the waves decreased, and after length of days the trees put forth, with ooze on bending boughs, their naked tops. And all the wasted globe was now restored. But as he viewed the vast and silent world, Deucalion wept, and thus to Pyrrha spoke. O sister, wife, alone of woman left, my kindred in descent and origin, dearest companion of my marriage bed, doubly endeared by deepening dangers born. Of all the dawn and eve behold of earth, but you and I are left, for the deep sea has kept the rest, and what prevents the tide from overwhelming us? Remaining clouds affright us. How could you endure your fears if you alone were rescued by this fate, and who would then console your bitter grief? Oh, be assured, if you were buried in the waves, that I would follow you and be with you. Oh, would that by my father's art I might restore the people and inspire this clay to take the form of man. Alas, the gods decreed, and only we are living. Thus Deucalion's plaint to Pyrrha, and they wept. And after he had spoken, they resolved to ask the aid of sacred oracles. And so they hastened to Cephissian waves, which rolled a turbid flood in channels known. Thence, when their robes and brows were sprinkled well, they turned their footsteps to the goddess fane. Its gables were befouled with reeking moss, and on its altars every fire was cold. But when the twain had reached the temple steps, they fell upon the earth, inspired with awe, and kissed the cold stone with their trembling lips, and said, If righteous prayers appease the gods, and if the wrath of high celestial powers may thus be turned, declare, O Themis, whence and what the art may raise humanity. O gentle goddess, help the dying world. Moved by their supplications, she replied, Depart from me and veil your brows, ungird your robes, and cast behind you as you go the bones of your great mother. Long they stood in dumb amazement. Pyrrha, first of voice, refused the mandate, and with trembling lips implored the goddess to forgive. She feared to violate her mother's bones and vex her sacred spirit. Often pondered they the words involved in such obscurity, repeating oft, and thus Deucalion to Epimetheus' daughter uttered speech of soothing import. Oracles are just, and urge not evil deeds, or naught avails the skill of thought. Our mother is the earth, and I may judge the stones of earth are bones that we should cast behind us as we go. And although Pyrrha by his words was moved, she hesitated to comply, and both amazed, doubted the purpose of the oracle, but deemed no harm to come of trial. They, descending from the temple, veiled their heads and loosed their robes, and threw some stones behind them. It is much beyond belief, were not receding ages witness, hard and rigid stones assumed a softer form, enlarging as their brittle nature changed to milder substance, till the shape of man appeared, imperfect, faintly outlined first, as marble statue chiselled in the rough. The soft moist parts were changed to softer flesh, the hard and brittle substance into bones. The veins retained their ancient name. And now the gods supreme ordained that every stone Deucalion threw should take the form of man, and those by Pyrrha cast should woman's form assume. So are we hardy to endure, and prove by toil and deeds from what we sprung.